Alright, what's up, y'all? Swoley here. Today we're going to go a little bit off topic, and there's something that I want to talk about. And that's going to be probably the most annoying role to play in this game. That's a support role. Now, when I first started DC back in 2012, right, the one role that appealed to me over anything else was controller. And that's what I spent a lot of time learning, trying to play. Because, yeah, when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. I played this game for like a month before I knew anybody and knew anything. I was just kind of going through the motions. But a lot of it has been streamlined since then. However, the role of controller has changed drastically since the game is launched. Initially you would just provide power and debuff, and that was pretty much it. You would debuff the ads, the trash mobs, you would debuff the bosses, and you would give a constant supply of power to the group. And that was it. Some people like to do one or the other. I remember this, back then, before we even had LFG, you'd see people in shout chat fighting, like, oh, I'm just a power troll, or I'm just a debuff troll. Like, you got to do both jobs. And then also you were expected to do the mechanics. Like if you had to run to a cog or real-time action, something like that, you were expected to do it as a controller. So even back then it was annoying. But today, being a controller, because I can tell you right now, I don't care what server you're on. I don't care if you're on Switch, I don't care if you're on Xbox, I don't care if you're on PC, PlayStation, EU, whatever. I guarantee you Troll is the hardest role to find. It is the most sought after role. It's not tanks, definitely ain't healers. Thousands of them out there. It is controllers. And the reason why is because it is by no means cheap to be a controller. Especially if you want to do the harder stuff, if you want to go into Elite or Elite Plus. Really, like, doing that as a controller. Like, people want you to have, like, 7 artifacts. This is why, when I started to go back to Troll, like, this is why I stayed away from it. Ever since I, like, really came back to the game a few years ago. And Buff Troll, Battle Troll was getting tossed around a lot. This is why I have just kind of stayed away from that role. I thought about going back to it. I even did play it for a while last year, like during survival mode. But man, when I started looking at all the artifacts that I was going to have to get, you got to have Claw, you got to have Bot Comlink, you got to have Tetra, you got to have Eye of Gemini. You don't have to have all these things, but realistically, these are the things that people are going to hound you about. And they're going to want all of this extra stuff, all these extra buffs. You're going to have to be art swapping. Like, it's just a headache. You need at least $3 grand to be a workable controller in this game. Now, I've said it for a long time, and I've never said it on the channel. Oh, we're going into a raid. But artifacts are probably the worst thing that has ever happened to this game. I don't think there's many people out there that would disagree with me. But these are just my thoughts, y'all. I just wanted to drop them down. And I know I say that as somebody who's spent hundreds on artifacts, probably more than that. Like, let's be honest, I've had about 12 artifacts at 200. And I keep switching them out. So, anyways, y'all. Just some thoughts that were on my mind. I was listening to some guys talk about controller, and they were just going at it. So I just wanted to kind of touch on it and give a little bit of insight on why people just don't play controller anymore. Or don't want to. So that's what I got for you today, guys. Appreciate you checking in, as always. I'll catch you next time. We'll be out and stay frosty.